Hello, sports fans. It is Wednesday, May the 8th, year 2013, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. I want to start with the National Hockey League playoffs. I want to start with the Penguin-Islanders series, where last night the Islanders beat the Penguins 6-4 to even the series at 2. Islanders with the big come-from-behind win at the Nassau Coliseum last night. Islanders have done a really nice job. They're resilient. They've battled in this series. They had a really nice end to the regular season, the Islanders. Tavares is a star, but I want to focus in on the Pittsburgh Penguins, the number 1 seed in the East. What in the world are the Pittsburgh Penguins doing? Let me take you back to last year's first-round playoff series, Pittsburgh against Philadelphia, where the Flyers scored 1,000,000 goals against Pittsburgh. Fleury couldn't stop anything. That's why in the offseason the Penguins got backup goaltender Vokoun, just in case Fleury sputtered in the playoffs. Well, guess what? He's sputtering. The Penguins in the first game of this series won 5-0, looked like a superior team, looked like they were going to dust the Islanders. Then in Game 2, the Penguins blow a 2-0 lead and a 3-1 lead at home. Fleury gives up a terrible goal, the game-winning goal in Game 2. Islanders steal a game in Pittsburgh. Then Pittsburgh comes back, has a nice win in Game 3. What happens last night? Penguins have the Islanders on the ropes several occasions. Penguins are up 2-1. Penguins are up 3-2. Penguins are up 4-3. Each and every time the Islanders come back, Fleury again gives up a bunch of bad goals, gives up another goal from behind his own net where it ricochets off of him. How many times have we seen that in this series? About 3 of the Islander goals in this series have come from behind the net. Fleury looks shaky. It's getting to the point where Fleury, like any shot can go in on him. Any shot from anywhere you think it's going to go in. The time to make the change is right now. I put Vokoun in for Game 5. I get Fleury out of there. I don't like his whole body language. You saw him at the end of the game yesterday. He has his head in his glove. He looks totally distraught. He looks shaky. You got Vokoun for this reason. Put him in Game 5 because Game 5 is a must-win for Pittsburgh. And now the pressure is squarely on the Penguins. They have put all sorts of pressure on themselves. Islanders are playing with house money. The Islanders just getting to the playoffs was a success. Now they're playing with house money. The Penguins have Stanley Cup aspirations, and here they are in a dogfight with the 8th seed. Penguins have to win Game 5. If they drop Game 5 and have to go to the Nassau Coliseum, facing elimination, I could see the Penguins going out in this series. Penguins need to win Game 5 at home. Pressure is on. Time to go to Vokoun right now. At least with Vokoun, you won't get these soft goals from behind your net. At least he'll stop the pucks he's supposed to stop. I don't know if he's going to make any miraculous great saves, but at least you won't get any of these bad goals from behind the net that are ricocheting in off Fleury. Fleury looks too shaky. You got Vokoun for this reason. Put him in. And where's the Penguin defense? I don't want to put this all on Fleury, the goaltender. Where's the Penguin defense? This is not championship defense. You can't give up 4, 5, 6 goals in the Stanley Cup playoffs and expect to advance. I mean, they gave up 6 goals last night. Terrible job by the Penguin defense. We know they could score. They have more firepower than anyone. They got Crosby, they got Malkin, they got Iginla. The list goes on and on. Scoring's not the problem. They are having a tough time keeping the puck out of their own net. Defense has been atrocious after Game 1. Goaltending has been even worse. Vokoun has to play Game 5, and the Penguin defense really needs to step up. I'll tell you, I expect the Penguins to play a big game tomorrow. If they don't, they could be going out in this series. Pressure is squarely on Pittsburgh. Time for the Penguins to step it up at home. I mean, they have kept the Islanders in this series. They had a couple chances to knock the Islanders out. In Game 2, they had the Islanders squarely on the ropes, down 2-0 and 3-1 in Game 2 after they had beat the Islanders 5-0 in Game 1, let them off the deck there. Then last night, again, Pittsburgh up 2-1, 3-2, 4-3, kept giving the lead back time after time. That is not what Stanley Cup champions do. You don't constantly give up the lead like that. Had a chance to bury the Islanders several times. Had a chance to go up 3-1 in the series. Now, this is anyone's series. The Islanders believe now. The Islanders believe they can win the series, and why not? Why not? They've been left for dead a couple of times, and they have rallied each and every time. They are right there with Pittsburgh. So, Pittsburgh, you better bring your game tomorrow night. Put Vokoun in net. Pittsburgh better bring their A game. They are squarely in trouble right now. Pittsburgh is in major, major trouble. They are in danger of going out in this series. I thought the Islanders would give them a tough time. I thought it would go 6 games, but the Islanders have, made it even more tough than I thought it would be. And the Penguins making it tough on themselves. I mean, the terrible goaltending, the bad defense, constantly giving up leads. You cannot constantly do that. Unbelievable. So I am really down on the Penguins today. They need to show me something tomorrow night. Bring your A game, Pittsburgh. You better bring your A game. And and just because the offense is good, they got to step up too. Crosby, Malkin, Agidla, you guys got to step up and get some goals tomorrow night too. So the Penguins need a complete effort tomorrow night. We'll see if they can get it done. Put Vokoun in net. I would be shocked if they put Fleury in the goal. So we'll see what goes on tomorrow night with that series. Very interesting series, 2-2 right now. Also last night in hockey, the Ottawa Senators at home beat the Montreal Canadiens 3-2 in overtime. The Senators go up 3-1 in the series. Montreal is all but done. What a comeback by Ottawa last night. They're down 2-0. They're down 2-1 late. They tie it and they win it in overtime. What a great job by Ottawa. You talk about a resilient team. Ottawa this year had all of their top guys hurt, yet they hung in there, they battled, they made the playoffs, and here they are doing it again, grinding it out. I love the way Ottawa plays. The Ottawa coach is doing a tremendous job. They are now up 3-1 in the series over Montreal. Also last night, the Chicago Blackhawks beat Minnesota 3-0 in Minnesota. Blackhawks now take a commanding 3-1 lead in that series. The Blackhawks should win this series now. They have no excuses. They have 2 of the next 3 at home. They're up 3-1. This is the Blackhawks series to lose. And how about San Jose last night? San Jose sweeps Vancouver right out of the playoffs. San Jose beats Vancouver 4-3 in overtime. Vancouver had a lead late in this game, blew it. San Jose wins in overtime and sweeps Vancouver, the 3 seed. Vancouver, what in the world are you doing? You talk about goalie problems. Luongo, awful. Schneider, awful. They kept juggling goalies. They know they've had this. They've known they've had this goaltending problem for years. They have not addressed it. Vancouver was a Stanley Cup contender for the last few years. Their goaltending killed them. It kills them here again. They go out in the first round, swept away. Vancouver's got to really redo their team. They got to start with their goaltending. Get Luongo and Schneider out of there. Get a new goalie and start from there. So San Jose advances to the next round as they sweep away Vancouver. So that was kind of where you were in your National Hockey League playoffs last night. As far as your NBA last night, the Knicks at Madison Square Garden roll over the Pacers last night and even the series at 1. You had to figure the Knicks were going to respond last night. It was an interesting game. The Knicks had a nice lead early. Then all of a sudden in the third quarter, the Pacers come roaring back, take a 2-point lead, and you're like, wow, the Knicks are really shaky here. But then right after that, the Knicks went on a big run at the end of the third quarter and then just plowed over Indiana in the fourth quarter. I think they outscored them 33-13. It got to a point where I was sitting there going, okay, Indiana was satisfied they got 1 win at the Garden and they just basically cashed in their chips because the Knicks just rolled over them in the fourth quarter. You had to expect the Knicks were going to come out last night and win this game. I mean, no way they were going to drop 2 games at Madison Square Garden. Didn't like the way Indiana played the fourth quarter, almost like they were satisfied with 1 win at the Garden. You can't be that way in the NBA playoffs. You can't be satisfied. Looked like Indiana was. This series is 1-1, heading back to Indiana. Now, here's a big problem I have. Game 3 is not till Saturday. So they play Tuesday night and they don't play till Saturday back in Indiana. What is with 4 days off? Ridiculous. I mean, what is going on with the NBA schedule? I mean, you can't have 4 days off in between games. I mean, you're just starting to get into the series, and now there's a half a week break in between games. Terrible job by the NBA scheduling these games. I mean, I know they want a game on every day, but that doesn't even work out sometimes. I think there's a day this week where they don't even have any NBA game on. So terrible job by the NBA scheduling. You play Sunday, you play Tuesday, and then you don't play till Saturday. I mean, come on, way too long of a break. They should play Thursday. So Knicks even up the series at 1. Back to Indiana we go. Indiana has home court. They will play on Saturday. Should be a very interesting series the rest of the way. I do expect the Knicks to win it. Also last night, Memphis beat Oklahoma City at Oklahoma City. That series is now even at 1. Conley, the big 3 last night, he had 26 points. Durant for Oklahoma City had his usual great game, 36 points. Kevin Martin for Oklahoma City, 2 for 11? I mean, he had a terrible game. I mean, remember, Kevin Martin is the guy Oklahoma City got in the Harden trade. I mean, he is not even close to being the player Harden is. Martin had a terrible game last night. Remember, Oklahoma City still playing without Westbrook. He's out for the rest of the playoffs. They really miss him. They're like a totally different team, Oklahoma City, without Westbrook. I mean, they really miss him. They're a totally, totally different team. Because of that, I give Memphis a chance to win this series. I mean, it's now 1-1, 2 games in Memphis. Wouldn't shock me at all if Memphis won this series, considering Oklahoma City does not have, Westbrook and Martin. I mean, I think Martin's contract runs out after this year. Let him walk. Replace him with somebody else. Let him walk. He makes way too much money. He's not a good player at all. I mean, I would have kept Harden for this year and made a run at the title. They decided not to do that. They thought they had to make a move, before the season. So they end up trading Harden. I would have waited. I would have kept Harden, made a run at the title this year, and dealt with Harden's contract after the season. They didn't want to do that, and they got Martin, and Martin is not even close to being Harden. Martin was awful last night, 2 for 11. So Memphis beats Oklahoma City 1-1, back to Memphis for 2 games. Memphis has a real good chance of winning this series. So that was your NBA playoffs last night. Also, as far as some notes from the NBA, Phil Jackson said he is not interested in the Brooklyn Nets job. Is that a surprise? Is that a revelation? You think Phil Jackson is going to a Brooklyn Net team that basically has no chance to win a title, is like a middle-of-the-pack Eastern Conference team? Come on, Phil Jackson's not going to a team like that. He wants to go to a team that has a chance to win an NBA title, an NBA title ready-made team. He's not going to the Brooklyn Nets. Give me a break. I mean, right now, Phil Jackson, by the way, is a consultant with the Pistons, but that's a temporary job. He's just helping them, find a new coach. Phil Jackson, I don't think, even wants to be in the front office. He wants to be a coach. You know what's the spot Phil Jackson is going to land at? I think he's going to land with the Clippers, and here's why. I think the Clippers re-sign Chris Paul. They have Blake Griffin. And I think the Clippers are going to try and make a trade with the Celtics. I think the Clippers are going to try and get Garnett and Pierce from the Celtics. Pierce and Garnett want to play together. Their time in Boston has run out. Boston needs to rebuild. Boston needs to make a trade. And it looks like these two guys want to play together. So if it's not in Boston, they want to play together. Clippers should make the trade, Pierce and Garnett, and give Boston Jordan, Bledsoe, maybe a couple draft picks, a couple other players, a couple of young guys. I think Boston will go for that deal. I mean, they'll take Jordan. He's a nice young center. They'll take Bledsoe, a young guard, put him with Rondo. Gives him a chance to rebuild, throw in some draft picks. And then with the Clippers, you could have Griffin, you could have Paul, you could have Garnett and Pierce. And then on that team, Garnett and Pierce don't have to carry the team. Put Phil Jackson there as the coach. Now you're talking. That's the way to get Phil Jackson. Make that trade for Garnett and Pierce. I think it's possible. I think Boston may want to rebuild. They're not going to win with an old Garnett and Pierce anyway. Might as well take some young players, rebuild, get some draft picks. And for the Clippers, it makes absolute sense. They want to win now. I think that's what's going to happen here. I think the Clippers and Boston make a trade. Pierce and Garnett go to the Clippers, and then Phil Jackson takes the job as coach. That's the way I see it in my little crystal ball. All we need is a deck of cards now. All right, so that's kind of your news and notes from the NBA last night. We covered the NHL. As far as your Major League Baseball last night, the Mets beat the Chicago White Sox. How about Harvey for the Mets? Is this guy not something else? Pitches a one-hitter. He is pitching unbelievable. He's a Cy Young candidate. Harvey is better than expected. We all liked his fastball when he came up. All thought he was going to be a good pitcher. He is lights out last night. I mean, he cannot do anything wrong. Pitching tremendous baseball, Harvey. So the Mets get the win over the White Sox. White Sox look like a bad ball club, by the way. Also last night, Pittsburgh beat Seattle. Seattle can't score any runs. We know that. Minnesota beat the Red Sox. Sloppy game for the Red Sox. 3 errors. Cleveland beat Oakland. Cleveland is starting to play some decent ball. They're getting hot. Reynolds hitting a lot of home runs. Cubs beat the Cardinals. A lot of people do not know about this rivalry. Huge rivalry in baseball, the Cubs and the Cardinals. Cubs beat them last night. Also last night, Baltimore beat Kansas City. How about Baltimore? 20-13. Buck Showalter doing a nice job 2 years in a row with the Birds. Toronto beat Tampa Bay last night. I'll tell you, talk about two teams struggling. Toronto is 13-21, and Tampa Bay is 14-18. I mean, two teams that are really struggling. I mean, I thought these teams would be a lot better than this. Both struggling right now. Toronto got the win last night. Also last night, Houston beat the Angels. Here we go again with the Angels. The Angels are 11-21. I mean, how long does Mike Scioscia keep his job? I love Mike Scioscia. I would never fire him. I think he's a great baseball man. 11-21. The Angels spent a fortune. Josh Hamilton looks lost at the plate. Pujols is hurting. The pitching has been bad. 11-21 with that lineup. Hard to believe. And Houston beats them, one of the worst teams in the league. We'll keep an eye on Mike Scioscia. We'll see if he keeps his job. Milwaukee beat Texas last night. A. Ramirez with a home run, his first of the year. Also last night, Cincinnati beat Atlanta. Chu with a walk-off home run. Very exciting win for Cincinnati last night. Colorado shut out the Yankees. De La Rosa with the shutout. Gonzalez with the home run. Very strange to see the Yankees playing Colorado in May. I just couldn't get used to it. Very strange series. Yankees-Colorado in May out there in Colorado. Also last night, Philadelphia beat San Francisco. Utley and Howard hit home runs. I'll tell you, you watch Philadelphia, sometimes they look great, and other times they look horrible. They do have some pieces. They have Lee, they have Hamels. I mean, if they could get Doc Holliday pitching well, they have a couple other decent pitchers. You still got Howard, you still got Utley, you still got Rollins. They still have a chance, Philly. Plus, they always make a run. They are in a tough division. I don't want to write the Phillies off. They are capable of doing some things. So the Phillies beat the Giants last night. Also last night, San Diego beat Miami. San Diego's playing a lot better ball. Miami can't get out of its own way. Also last night, Detroit, Washington, that was rained out. And Arizona beat the Dodgers again. What is going on in Dodger land? Goldschmidt, a home run in the ninth inning off league as the Dodgers lose yet again. The Dodgers are in last place. I mean, the Dodgers are in real trouble here. Don Mattingly's another one. He better watch out. Both managers in Los Angeles better watch out. More so Mattingly. He's got a really, really short stick, I think. I mean, Mike Scioscia at least has proven he can win. Mike Scioscia's won a World Series. What in the world has Don Mattingly accomplished? I mean, he is in major, major trouble to keep his job. Dodgers spent a fortune over the offseason. They have high expectations. New ownership group. Don Mattingly on a short lease. I like Donnie Baseball. Dodgers got to pick it up. I mean, and they got to get Greinke back. Ever since Greinke went out, the Dodgers have not been the same team at all. And Matt Kemp's got to step it up. One home run. I mean, come on. Matt Kemp's better than that. So Arizona beats the Dodgers. Dodgers just cannot get out of their own way. So that was kind of some of your doings in Major League Baseball last night. As far as Wednesday, what to watch tonight. As far as your NBA tonight, you got two big NBA playoff games. You got the Chicago Bulls at the Miami Heat. Game 2, the Chicago Bulls are up 1-0 in this series. Hard to believe they won Game 1. Now listen, is there any possible way the Bulls win Game 2? No way, right? I mean, no possible way. I mean, but that's why you play the games in sports. You never know. I would expect Miami to lay the absolute wood on Chicago tonight. I would expect this game to be over at the half. But Chicago's proven me wrong time and time again. They are such a resilient team. They battle you. They give you such a great effort. It's amazing. Rose is out again tonight. Heinrich out again tonight. I don't think Dang is playing tonight, yet they still find a way to win. I think Miami rolls tonight. I think Miami evens the series, but Chicago keeps proving me wrong, so we'll keep an eye on that game tonight. The late game tonight, you have Golden State at San Antonio. San Antonio up 1-0 in that series. We'll see if Golden State can get a game in San Antonio. I'll tell you, you wonder if that was Golden State's shot the other night to get a game on the road. Golden State had a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter, let the game slip away, had a lot of turnovers, a lot of bad play. They go to double overtime. Ginobili hits the big three to win it. You wonder if that was Golden State's shot to win, to win on the road and to maybe have a shot at winning this series. We'll see how they respond tonight. I think San Antonio is going to play better tonight just because I think they were rusty. They had a long stretch where they were off. They might have been a little rusty, just like the Heat. Heat had like over a week off. They were probably a little rusty. I expect the Heat and San Antonio to play a lot better tonight, so we'll keep an eye on those two big NBA playoff series tonight. As far as your NHL tonight, you got 4 big games in the NHL. Great night in the NHL tonight. You have Washington and the Rangers Game 4. Washington's up 2-1 in the series. Game 4 at Madison Square Garden. We'll see if the Rangers can even the series. The Garden should be flying tonight. Also, you have Boston at Toronto tonight. Boston leads that series 2-1. Toronto trying to even it up at home. Should be a great atmosphere up there in Toronto. Also, you have 2 series that are tied at 2. LA at St. Louis tonight. That series is tied at 2. LA's won the last 2 games. They are now back in St. Louis. Should be a 2-1, 3-2 game somebody with those teams. And also you have Detroit at Anaheim tonight. That series is tied at 2. That's been a back and forth series, a very interesting series as well. I mean, I still like Anaheim in that series just because I don't think it's a vintage Detroit team. But still, you look at some of the guys Detroit has. They still have some stars on that team. So very, very intriguing game tonight. Very intriguing night in the NHL tonight. Boston, Toronto, Washington Rangers, LA, St. Louis, Detroit, Anaheim. Very, very nice night in the NHL tonight. If you like hockey, tonight is your night. And of course, tonight you have all your Major League Baseball as you always do. Okay, you guys are all caught up for today. You guys, thanks for the support. You guys stay safe. Enjoy the games tonight. You got 2 big NBA playoff games. You got your 4 NHL playoff games. And you have all your Major League Baseball. I will be back with you tomorrow, Thursday, and we'll recap everything that went on as far as tonight in the sports world. So you guys enjoy the games. I'll be back with you tomorrow, Thursday. Take care.